What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you are all doing well today. We're going to be taking a look at Bocchi the Rock. We're going to be getting the set for this very soon. But this won't be my usual first impressions video, because I've already looked at the entire set. I recorded an entire video. Realized right as I get to the end of it, right as I'm about to do like closing remarks for the video, that I hadn't been recording audio for almost an hour. So, like, I've been recording, but all I had was video. Had no sound whatsoever. So, a little disheartening. But, the short of this is a crazy awesome set. I really, really like the Bocchi the Rock set. So, I'm just going to go through... We are going to highlight each of the double rares, if nothing else, because that's where a lot of the crazy stuff is. And I'll try to point out a couple of the cards that I saw that were also kind of cool. But this won't be my typical first impressions, and this will probably be a much quicker recording than an hour long. So, I didn't get to the trial deck stuff yet, so the trial deck will be a separate video. That will be a first impressions for the trial deck, so that'll be, because I haven't actually looked at that one yet. I got to literally the climaxes of in the last couple cards. And I look over and I just see that the little the audio bar is not moving when I was talking, and I was like, oh well, this is saddening. So this set has a lot of really fun surprises. Right from the very first card, we have a 00500 Nijika. That one, I love when Weiss Time does this, where it says has a soul trigger, which it is. It's a level 0 that has a soul trigger, like the Ina from Hololive. And it has the very, very first effect already gave me hope for a lot of interesting, cool effects, and it definitely pays off later on in this, in some of the cards in here. Increase the maximum number of cards in your hand by 1. So instead of 7 cards, you can have a maximum of 8 at the end of the turn. If you have 2 of these in back row, you can have a maximum of 9. So really cool. But it is a generic brainstormer of pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax, choose up to 1 character in your waiting room, add it to hand. So nothing crazy there, but the increasing the maximum number of cards in your hand, I've seen very few times, but the most prominent one as of late was there were 2 different level 0 cards that did this in quintuplets. There was 2 Eat Skis that did this in quintuplets. And it was very relevant to how you ran the deck. And one particular effect later on, this is going to be very relevant for. So this is going to be a highly sought after brainstormer, in my opinion. Next, we have a Bocchi. It's a 001K. Also, really cool for the SSP. This is times where I wish I could read Japanese and know what this says. It's really cool. So 001K. When this is reversed, you may reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you revealed 1 or more, choose up to 1 music, character, or history of failures event. We are going to be covering that. Add it to hand, send the rest of them to the waiting room, and then you discard 1 card. So you can do a little bit of filtering and everything. Let's see. And then it is a level 0 or lower stock bomb, which is really good. Let's see. There's 2. Yeah, there's 2 more double rares. 103K, this has a soul trigger for a costless level 1, is Nijika. During your turn, for each of your other music characters, this gets 1k power, making her a 107k with a full field, which you have to have a full field for the climax combo. So with the choice, she's an 8k. This is very reminiscent of the Asuna from the SAO anniversary set. On attack, if you have 4 or more other music characters, choose 1 music character in your waiting room. Either add it to your hand or send it to your stock. And if you send it to stock, this gains an additional 2k power. So she can become a 10k without any other buffs. She's just absolutely horribly weak defensively. So, but also, smile. Anyway. Then we have a 2-1 Nijika. It's a 215k, level assist in front. Discard 1 copy of this and rest 2 of your characters. Put up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your stock. Just generate stock. Like, kind of crazy. That is it for the double rares in yellow. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit faster. Let's see. We do have a bunch of other interesting cards in here. And if nothing else, I am going to, like, kind of scroll through. So this is one of the first ones that I thought was kind of crazy. Is this Bocchi If you don't have a card in memory, this gets minus 5k and minus 1 soul. But there's a lot of cards that end up going to memory across like multiple cards. So that is negligible for this in my mind. So you basically have a free cost 1075. Like just completely and totally free. Really crazy there. We have a 2/1 Bocchi that has 2 soul triggers. So, 2 soul for her damage. And she has like a decompression effect, which is really nice. So, let's continue. What else was really crazy in here? I literally just did this, and I'm still trying to remember what the other crazy stuff was. The climax combo for this 3/2 Nijika was really cool. Basically being able to summon more copies of itself to try to get more attacks off and everything. Really cool. Kind of a faux re-stander thing, but you end up sending it to memory, too. Climax swapper, Bocchi, kind of standard at this point. Let's see. This was also really crazy. A level 2 0 cost Brainstormer. Like this is kind of crazy. The Brainstorm is 3 stock, mill 3. Then you get to summon a music character from Waiting Room equal to the number of music characters you milled by this effect. I don't really think I've seen this. Like I may have seen this like one other time, and now even then I was probably like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" type mentality. When I was first going through the impression, I was like I saw this and I'm like, oh, hold up, is this correct? I literally had to like zoom in on this, but the 3 cost is correct. So, let's see, continuing on. This one was kind of cool. It's kind of a faux mocha. Just on attack, if you have the choice trigger, you can look at up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, choose up to any of those, put them into the Waiting Room, put any of them on top of the deck, on top of the opponent's deck in any order, send the rest to Waiting Room. We had... This was kind of interesting. When your opponent uses an act, you may draw a card. If you do, discard 1 card. So every time they activate like Brainstormers, or even if they use backups, you get to draw 1 and pitch 1. So it's kind of cool. Like I said, we're just going to kind of showcase stuff. Like I said, the first impressions is ruined. I just know a bunch of the cards now. This Rio is crazy. It's a global 500 to all other music characters. And while you have a particular choice trigger in your climax area, and you have 3 or more other music characters, this gives 3 different cards the choice trigger effect in any area. Basically meaning if they get triggered, they get the choice trigger. So depending on how many copies of each of these 3 different cards that you run, let's say you don't run like a play set of the Brainstormer, but you run a play set of the 3/2 Kita in here, or even if you don't run the Kita at all, it just increases how many choice triggers you end up triggering. And yellow only has choice triggers from what I saw. So you can run 8 choice triggers in this, have all of these run in the deck in some shape, form, or fashion, and then let's say you don't run a play set of every single one of these. If you run anywhere from 3 to 4 copies, you get anywhere from 9 to 12 extra choice triggers in the deck. So it's okay, cool. I get like 9, something like, let's just say 8 to 12 extra. So you get anywhere from 16 to 20 choice triggers in a deck, which is just bananas to me. So I think that, and this is on a common, but it does require like other, like a double rare and whatnot. So I mean, like you do have to, like, I think that Brainstormer is probably going to be fairly decent price tag. So I don't know how effective this is going to be for that. But that Brainstormer is going to come up in the reds when we get to that. So I just thought this was kind of crazy, and just being able to have the potential that many choice triggers in a deck is crazy. This can get rid of a trait that all of your opponent's characters have when she gets played. Just for the turn, but still, it's kind of funny to be like, oh, you know, like if you have stuff that's like getting buffed from X number of music characters on field or whatever. This just goes, get rid of your music trait, or get rid of your anniversary trait, or whatever the hell, you know? So, kind of crazy there. Let's see. What else is crazy here? A lot of the art in here was kind of cool. You had some art that, like, even the SR art was, like, different, so I thought that was kind of cool. The events. This is also just a big advertisement for I need to finish watching Bocchi the Rock. We have 4 different choice triggers, but all of them are, all the climaxes in yellow were choice. So, that is something to keep in mind. I love how the Rio one is just the same picture no matter what. So, all right, getting into the greens. We're going to go over each of the double rares and continue from there. The double rares in this is where I really, like, the last double rare in this is what elevated this deck up to, oh my god, this is Hololive levels. So, we'll get to that in a second here. So, this 001K Kita, if all of your characters are music, this gets 1,000 power, which I feel is kind of negligible. When this is reversed, you can put one card from hand to clock and send this to memory. If you do, search your deck for a music character, add it to your hand. So, being able to just search off of that when it gets reversed is really cool. Like I said, the 1K is negligible because it becomes a 2K then. You want it to get reversed to get your searches. So, it feels really weird to increase the power of it. I don't know. Typically for stuff like this, you want it to be weaker, but I guess it prevents, like, your opponent from playing one of those random characters that's like, oh, pick one of your opponent's characters and give it -1,000. And then if it was still just at 1,000, it would die. So, and then you wouldn't get the search effect. So, maybe that's the reason, and you're trying to do that to keep from, like, it getting popped that way. I don't know. So, we have a Rio that can move to an empty front row slot if there's a character facing it, as well as on attack, you could choose one of your other music characters to give it power times 500 of equal to your music characters times 500. So, your other, sorry, I should say. And this Rio is where shit started to click. Also, I really, really like how the SP looks for that. The signature and everything looks so nice. When this is placed on stage, you can pay the cost, which is sack another music character. Look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose one card amongst them, add it to hand, then choose one card amongst them, send it to stock, and send the rest to the waiting room. Future me can just slide a picture onto the screen right now, showing where have we seen this effect before? It doesn't end there. Let's keep going. At the end of this card's attack, if you have a particular gold bar in your climax area, pay 1, pitch a music character. And if you have another music, or if you have a music character, pay the cost. If you do, burn 3. So it doesn't match the Hosho Marine exactly, but it's pretty fucking close. The first effect, where the on play sack another music character, of the choose a card, add to hand, choose a card, send to stock, that matches the Marine word for word, basically. Minus music, well, no, music versus Hololive. The Marine still has a on attack, pay 1, pitch a Hololive, burn 2, and it gains a 2k buff until end of turn. Versus this is at end of attack, so you get to generate stock for yourself, and then you pay it out afterwards. Instead of gaining a buff, you burn for 3. So you essentially have like a somewhat of another Hosho Marine in Bocchi the Rock. I did not know about this card before I initially started recording. And this immediately, like, I'm like, oh, we are going to see so much Bocchi. We are going to see so much Bocchi. People are going to be sick of this deck. And I love it. Like, that is absolutely crazy. And I thought that was just something very interesting, that it's not an exact mirror copy, but it's close enough that we know what Marine did. We know that this is going to do something similar. I'm just going to be real. If we don't, I will be so surprised. Anyway, that is it for the double rares in green. There was a couple other interesting cards in here. This one actually I thought was kind of cool. There's a neat little combo you can do with that one. But I am going to go a little bit slower to try to showcase some stuff. This particular Rio does have a climax combo to summon up to 3 level 0 or lower characters in your waiting room. It's also a level 0 cost reverse clock bomb. But I can see some shenanigans being done with this for like some soul rush pushing. Let me see if I can find it. We're gonna go back to that Rio in just a second, but I figure also showcase the other stuff when we're going along here. This one was interesting because this brainstorm, I haven't really seen this effect in a while. Pay 1, rest this, mill 5. For each climax, choose a card in your clock, add it to hand, put the top card of your deck into your clock. I haven't really seen this since like Kantai Collection and 2 Love Rue. And it wasn't even mill 5, it was mill 4 for those. So, Also, I love the artwork for this is so cool. Like I said, this is the giant advertisement for I need to finish watching Bocchi. This 2-1 has 2 souls for some reason, but the effect you do is like a drop salvager. Like that was kind of wonky. I'll be real on that one. Where is it? Here we go. This Kita. When this is placed on stage from hand. Oh, it's from hand. Oh, so I can't do that. If you have another character with Rio in its name, this turn, this gets +1 soul. So you can't do that with the other Rio. Oh, that would be so cool. I thought you could for a half second. Because this just summons straight from waiting room, so you wouldn't actually get the +1 soul off that. Okay, sorry. I had to I had to RTFC, so I couldn't do that. Okay. Let's see. This one was pretty cool. This level 2 climax combo was neat. On attack, if you have 3 or more other characters in the gold bar, look it up to 4, add a music character to hand. From those 4, show it to your opponent, send the rest to waiting room, and then you can trigger check twice. Kind of cool. Especially with the other cards in here that work off, like, have so many the gold bar triggers and stuff like that. It's really cool. So, like I said, I thought you could do some, like, Soul Rush shenanigans with this. Oh, man. Oh, well. Got myself psyched up for no reason on that one. It's all good. Everything else in here was kind of mad, and not like mad, but like I said, I can't really give a full like impression again. This particular event was kind of cool. It's a pay 1 green counter event. Look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 music characters or 2 copies of this card from amongst them. Show them to your opponent. Add it to your hand. Send the rest to waiting room. This could actually do some stuff. Like you could plus off of this. You could pay 1 singular stock, and just like, okay, cool. I guess you also pay 1 card from hand or whatever, whatever. But you end up getting 2 cards. You can very easily go, oh look, 2 music characters, add them to hand, or copies of this card, and then play it again and do it again. Do it again, and then all the green climaxes were gold bars. So we had 4 choice triggers, 4 gold bars. I was curious if red was all going to be 1 particular trigger as well, but red does have 2 triggers. It has salvage and standby. But this was also where shit just kind of got really crazy. I could see this being the combination with like the Rio that is the Hosho Marin. This Bocchi is a 1/0/45. If you have 3 or more other characters, it's a 5/5. When this attacks, if you have a door climax and the experience is 2 or more, you can pay the cost, which is discard 1 card. If you do look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 3 music characters or History of Failures event from amongst them, show them to your opponent, add it to hand, send the rest to waiting room. This is very, very reminiscent of, which I will show on screen now, the Itsuki from Quintuplets. This Itsuki was probably one of the best level 1 engines in all of Quintuplets. And they had 3 sets worth of shit. So, I mean, they had a lot, and that Itsuki, like, as much as I do not like experience-based effects, Experience of 2 is not bad. Experience of 2 is very, very easy to work with, especially by level 1. But you get that, and this is one of the, like, that Itsuki was one of the best engines. It is absolutely crazy. So to see essentially a mirror copy of it is kind of ridiculous. And the History of Failures event, unlike the Itsuki could grab an event called Code Word, it was not good. It was not like anywhere near as good as the History of Failures event, which we will take a look at in a second here. This Kita showed up like several times throughout a lot of the first effects. It is a early play, level 3. It's if you have 4 or more music, this gets minus level in hand. Very easy early play conditions. If you have 3 or more other characters, this gains 2k, so she's a 10/5. And then if this is in the front row, all of your music characters get 15, which counts herself, so she immediately goes to like a early drop 12k. Just constant as long as she's in the front row, which is kind of crazy. And lastly, for the double rares for red was this Bocchi. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose 1 music character in your clock and put it on the bottom of your deck. So healing from clock to bottom of the deck, you don't see that often. I think I've seen it like once before, or maybe once or twice before. And then another experience-based effect, but by level 3, experience 6 is a lot easier to get. When this attacks, if you have a door climax in play, if you have a particular door climax in play, and your experience is 6 or more, you may pay the cost. The cost being discard 2 cards, send a History of Failures event from memory to waiting room, which they send themselves to memory, and there's a ton of other cards that let you put them into memory. If you do this turn, this gets 3k power, and perform the following effect twice. Mill 1, burn your opponent. You burn them if for 1, unless you milled a climax. If you milled a climax, you burn 2 instead. So, pretty strong. It's not like the craziest effect in the world, but this can still be very, very strong. Because going back to so say that Brainstormer was the very first card we talked about, gave +1 hand size. Because this has the potential to add so many cards to hand, you can get a max hand size of like 9, and then you just keep keep hand advantage so much that by the time you get to level 3, you can play this very easily with little to no issues. So it's like, okay. But I do feel, in terms of finishers, the Rio is going to be vastly stronger. It's going to be, I can see a combination of this Bocchi level 1 and that level 3 Rio being like the deck. And that's just my opinion, but I don't know. Let's see, what else was really good? Like I said, there was a lot of other cards that worked with the History of Failures event. I guess we just go to that in a second here. There was some combos that worked with Standby. There wasn't that many like crazy targets for Standby. Maybe there's some better targets in the trial deck itself. I'm just trying to glance through. This one specifically like salvaged back like Bocchi characters. Trying to remember. Also, I love the art. Little maids are cute. We have a anti-change, obviously, but it sends the higher level character to memory. But you can discard any 2 cards, which once again, discard 2 cards is negligible when your max hand size is way higher. So I'm like just saying. So it feels way more free than it should be. So all the more reason why I say that level 1 Bocchi is going to be like absolutely insane. This one was pretty cool as well. This 1-0 Bocchi buffed up this Kita. It was this one. This Kita is a 2/175 with 2 soul. This Bocchi gives it 2,500 power, so it will be a 10k with 2 soul, and it will give it hexproof. It just makes me think of the turtle from Bofuri. Bocchi and Bofuri. And it gives it twin drive. You get to salvage. You get to do some shenanigans. Which you could play more than 1 copy of this. You could play an extra copy of this in the back and just give like an extra 25, which is kind of crazy. I wonder if you could stack the separate triggers. Like the separate twin drives, it would technically have the effect written up there twice. I wonder if you could pay it twice that way and do like, I don't know, I guess the way it's written says perform trigger check twice. I don't think you could stack it. I don't think that's capable of being done. Look, she's going Super Saiyan. Thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so the History of Failures event was really crazy. It's a 1/1 red. So there's 2 of them. It's both of these is a 1/1 and a 2/1. They both have the exact same name, meaning you can only run a 4-card combination of the 2. You can run a split 2/2, you can run a 3/1, you can run 4 of one and not the other. It's up to you, but because they are the same exact name, you can't run 4 copies of each. That's just too fucking crazy. 1/1 is search your deck for a music character, show it to your opponent, add it to hand, then this goes to memory, okay? So it puts itself into memory, this one does as well. 2/1 is your opponent sends all of their stock to their deck and shuffles their deck. Then puts an equal number of cards from the top of their deck into stock. Choose one of your music characters. This turn it gets 4k power and send this to memory. So just being able to fuck with your opponent's stock constantly so they never know if it's clean or not is kind of crazy. So I say you at least run one. I say you could do a 2-2 split, but you could also probably easily get away with like a 3 of the 1-1 and 1 copy of the 2-1. That's just me. And like I said, it was 2 salvage, 1, and then 2 of the standby. And there was a promo. What does it say? It's a store promo. It's a store promo that is a clean cut. So definitely get those if you can. That's going to be it for the set. The trial deck stuff is also up here, but I'm going to end up doing a different video for this that should actually be a first impressions thing and not just a, oh look, Kate is a dummy for not recording the audio. So yeah, so this is a lot shorter because of that. Otherwise this would be double the length, if not more. But yeah, so this set, to give closing thoughts that is actually going to be recorded this time. Yeah, this set's really crazy. It has good effects. It has good stuff. And then it has broken effects. Like, I was like, okay, this has several cool things. The extra hand size and whatnot. Then I see a fucking Hosho Marine clone and then an Itsuki clone in the same set. And to my knowledge, Bocchi only has the 1 set in JP. I don't know if there's a second one. If they ever get a second one that has more shit like that, it's just going to get stronger and more crazy from here. So I thought this was really, really cool. And I knew people were going to be playing Bocchi, but I didn't understand why they were going to be playing Bocchi. At first I was like, oh, it's because, Bocchi is a really beloved anime. A lot of people love watching it. Probably going to be for that, or for favoritism reasons. No, it has legit broken cards in it. At least by my opinion it is. If someone else is like, oh, you're really overhyping this, I don't care. So, yeah, that's going to be it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really to say. Like I said, I apologize. This isn't an actual first impressions thing because I'm a dummy. I'm not going to, but I'm also not going to sit there and try to fake it, So, yeah, let's just end on the Hosho Marine clone. Like, holy shit. Legitimately reading this just made me go, oh, this is going to be that set. We're going to have 2 fucking Hosho Marines floating around in, in Weiss. Oh, God. That's going to be crazy. All right. That's going to be it for the booster set. I will be recording the trial deck right after this, and it will be an actual first impressions video. But I figure with this still being like almost a half hour long, it's still like decent. So thank y'all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Please like and subscribe if you want. If not, hey, it's cool. Thank you for stopping by to check out the video. Feel free to join our Discord. We get into lots of really fun shenanigans in there. We will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.